For years, video games have been criticized for promoting violent behavior in players of all ages, especially young ones. While all media can easily be to blame for inspiring impressionable individuals to act in reckless ways, some games have gotten a lot of heat for their content in the past. Now, while it's unfair to correlate certain titles to all violent behavior in kids who like video games, the ones that we explore on this list have actually been the catalyst for the deaths of various people over the years. So with that in mind, here's our list of the top 10 video games that cause deaths, directly and indirectly. And at number 10, Diablo 3. A teenager who was only identified in the press by his first name, Chuang, died in Taiwan after playing Diablo 3 for 40 hours straight at an internet cafe back in 2012. Chuang had booked out a private room at the cafe and reportedly did not eat at all over the course of his marathon. An employee of the cafe found him resting on the table in the room and managed to wake him up. Chuang stood, took a few steps, then collapsed to the ground. Reports were that he suffered from a blood clot due to sitting for too long. Now, the devs behind Diablo 3, Blizzard, made a statement concerning the 18-year-old's death, saying, I quote, "We're saddened to hear this news, and our thoughts are with his family and friends during this difficult time. We don't feel it would be appropriate for us to comment further without knowing all of the circumstances involved. While we recognize that it's ultimately up to each individual or their parent or their guardian to determine playing habits, we feel that moderation is clearly important, and that a person's day-to-day life should take precedence over any form of entertainment." And at number 9, World of Tanks. A 35-year-old man named Brian Vignault, also known as Poshybird, partook in a 24-hour gaming marathon of World of Tanks as part of a charity event to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, all taking place in Virginia Beach. But 22 hours into the marathon, Brian, who was well known for playing the game on Twitch, decided to go for a smoke break. He didn't return, and emergency vehicles arrived at his house at 7:50 p.m. after someone called 911. Brian had had a heart attack outside of his house and later died. According to those watching the stream, Brian had consumed Red Bull, 5-hour energy drinks, and coffee in the duration of his marathon, and had looked in rough condition towards the end of the stream. Up next, number 8, the Wii Fit. Wii Fit is supposed to help you achieve a healthier lifestyle, but the opposite actually happened with one user named Tim Eves. A 25-year-old scout leader, Tim was jogging with the Wii Fit and dropped dead before even making it to the hospital. Eves was apparently a healthy individual with no prior health problems, which led to suspicion that he had a rare heart disorder, and that perhaps while using his Wii Fit he was so invested in the game that he ignored any symptoms that he may have been experiencing. Up next, number 7, GTA 4. Grand Theft Auto 4 has been the focus of several controversies over the years. The franchise itself has often been the target of more conservative media when it comes to placing blame for influencing younger demographics and inspiring violent behavior. The game has been cited as an influence for various crimes, including a crime spree in New Hyde Park, New York, and the murder of a taxi driver in Bangkok, Thailand, with the perpetrator in the latter case stating that they wanted to find out if it was as easy in real life to rob a taxi as it was in the game. But perhaps the worst case was in August of 2013, in which a 90-year-old woman in Slaughter, Louisiana, really unfortunate name for a town, was killed by her 8-year-old grandson who had shot her in the head after playing the game. Rockstar has been forced to respond to many of these cases, and the campaigning and petitioning against their games, often responding that Grand Theft Auto is meant for a mature audience that are smart enough to understand the game's content. And at number 6, StarCraft. Lee Sung-seop, a man from South Korea, had a pretty intense addiction to StarCraft. In 2005, he began devoting all of his time to it, causing him to lose his job as an industrial boiler repairman, and causing him to lose his girlfriend. People began to notice that he was always sleep deprived, and had become malnourished. And after a 50-hour StarCraft binge, he would also lose his life. According to reports, Lee had told his loved ones that he was about to head home when he closed his eyes and slid off his chair. His cause of death was found to be heart failure caused by exhaustion and dehydration. Up next at 5, Farmville. For a long time, Farmville was the gaming obsession of many an individual. A farming simulation social network game originally released in 2009 via Facebook, it's fallen from glory, going from its peak of 34.5 million daily active users down to the 110th most popular Facebook game in 2016. But for a long time, plenty of users were addicted, including the 22-year-old Alexandra Tobias, who in 2010 killed her 3-year-old son over the game. While she was playing, her son, who was hungry, started to cry. Annoyed, she shook him, inflicting head injuries to the child that ultimately killed him. She was sentenced to 50 years in prison. And at number 4, Halo 3. In Ohio, a 17-year-old teenager by the name of Daniel Petrick murdered his mother and shot his father over Halo 3. After his parents had taken the game away from him, he plotted to murder them. He retrieved the key to his father's lockbox where he had stored a 9mm handgun, along with the copy of the game that they had confiscated from Daniel. Petrick reportedly told his parents, "Would you close your eyes? I have a surprise for you," and then proceeded to shoot both of them in the head. His mother Susan died, and his father Mark managed to survive. Petrick then fled the scene with a copy of Halo 3. In his trial for the crime, the judge overseeing it noted that he firmly believed that Daniel, being utterly obsessed with the game, had no idea at the time that if he killed his parents, they would be dead forever. Up next in our number 3 spot, Legends of Mir 3. This has to be one of the craziest motives for murder that I've ever heard. A man in Shanghai named Qi Chengwei, who played Legends of Mir 3, killed another player by the name of Zhu Kaoyang in real life, because in the game he had lent Zhu a powerful dragon saber. Zhu had turned around and sold the weapon, which Chengwei was furious over. Zhu said he would give Chengwei the money from the sale, but after he failed to do so, Chengwei went to the police. The police refused to do anything since the theft was virtual and not real property. Chengwei took matters into his own hands and then stabbed Zhu in the heart with great force. China has no laws when it comes to the theft of virtual in-game items, unlike places like South Korea, because police actually have a force that investigates in-game thefts. Regardless, still a pretty tragic occurrence. And at number 2, Primus Online. This one is tragically ironic. So in Seoul, a South Korean couple were arrested for starving their 3-month-old premature daughter to death, all because they were devoting their time to raising an online baby. According to a police officer working the case, the couple seemed to have lost their will to live a normal life, because they didn't have jobs and gave birth to a premature baby. They would spend their days at an internet cafe, 12-hour stretches at a time, playing Primus Online, where they were raising a virtual girl that they named Anima. They would only feed their real daughter once a day in between those stretches of playing. According to Professor Kwak Dae-kyung of Seoul Dongguk University, the couple had lost track of reality, stating, I quote, "Online game addiction can blur the line between reality and the virtual world. It seems that taking care of their online game character erased any sense of guilt that they may have had for neglecting their daughter." And finally, in our number 1 spot, Berserk. The 2 deaths caused by arcade game Berserk are considered the very first account of video game related deaths to ever occur. Whether or not that's entirely accurate, the stories are still very chilling to say the least, and often tend to get draped in urban legends about the game's antagonist Evil Otto. But here are the facts. In 1982, a man named Peter Burkowski in Calumet City, Illinois, made the Berserk top 10 list twice within the span of 15 minutes. Seconds after entering his name next to his high score, he dropped dead of a heart attack. He was only 18 years old. The second case occurred in Virginia to another young man named Jeff Daly, who died after reaching a high score of over 16,000, also dying of cardiac arrest. Although some have claimed that Daly's death is an urban legend, riffing off of the Burkowski tragedy. Alright, there we have it, friends. Have you guys ever played a game for so long that you felt you were gonna be ill? Gotta take care of yourselves when you play, people. Eating and drinking and fresh air, kind of essential. For those of you who want to shake off these morbid stories, why not head over to our channel Top 10 Gaming for some more video game content, from lists to news to updates and more. And if you dug this video, spread the love and hit that like button. And be sure to take a look at the playlist we currently have flashing on your screen. Also, before I go, Top 10 Gaming now does live streams every Thursday. So if you guys care to see me virtually get dead in games like Five Nights at Freddy's, definitely come on over and check it out. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll catch you all in the next video.